Hey everybody, how's it going this fine Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon? We're going to do things a little bit differently in this video. You guys know I'm a Seahawks fan. I make multiple Seahawks videos every day pretty much, but I think we're going to do a little bit of an expansion in terms of what my channel regularly covers this season, and I'm going to try to make some Mariners content. You guys know that I've made a Mariners video or two in the past, but I've never really made it a regularly scheduled part of the channel. So we're going to try making a Mariners video every 10 games. And the season's 162 games long, so basically we're looking at 16 Mariners videos over the course of the season. And yeah, that sounds like a pretty good plan to me. So we just finished game number 10 5 minutes ago. So I thought I'd jump on and knock out the first checkpoint of the season video before game number 11 starts because today's a doubleheader. So yeah, just got done watching the 10th game of the season. Mariners win in extras on a Kyle Seager RBI double. Pretty sweet. Little heartbreaking that we couldn't close it out in the 7th, but hey, I'll take the wins that I can get. So 10 games in. 10 games in, what can we say about this Mariners team? They are showing a lot of resiliency, and they are coming through with big plays when they really need to. And that is how they have built this 6-4 record, a winning record through 10 games, guys. 6-4. Are they playing great overall? No. Does it need to get a lot better if they actually want to sustain this pace of winning? Absolutely. But I have to give my hat off to the players for coming through in crucial moments to turn narrow losses into narrow wins. So, what has powered our winning record through the first 10 games? It's pretty obvious. It's the offense. Uh, there have been some real bright spots on this offense, and even the not so bright spots have still been pretty good. These numbers are not updated with the game that just ended, but Luis Torrens has actually been playing quite well, I think. I'm really happy with what he's done. Getting a catcher to have any kind of offensive competency at all is a big bonus. And today we actually had Tom Murphy go yard, so maybe he'll start getting on track. Ty France has been a star for us so far on offense. He had a home run today. Seager has been the star of the show so far. Had a monster effort to help bring us back against the Twins. He had the winning RBI today. He's had a great season so far. And for a player who a lot of people, myself included, were thinking it's time to move on from, he's proving his worth so far. He's still good defensively, and he's getting it done at the plate. Mitch Haniger, welcome back. It's been such a relief to see Mitch Haniger go out there and get things done. And those are just the really bright spots. J.P. Crawford starting to come together. You know, I talked about J.P. Crawford a little bit to start the season last year, and I was saying that I think he's good on defense, but what's up with the plate stuff? Is he ever going to figure out his stuff at the plate? Starting to trend in the right direction. He's had a couple of good games in a row now. He had 2 hits today. And on top of that, Taylor Trammell. And I know people might not be thinking that much about Taylor Trammell because in a few games he won't even be the center fielder because we'll get Kyle Lewis back. But the dude is learning how to use his bat a little bit after looking completely lost at the start of the season. And he's jacked a couple of home runs. And he's drawing walks. He's got good plate vision already. So even though he really didn't look like he knew how to even swing a bat the first few games of the year, he was still getting on base because he knows how to draw a walk. He's got 7 walks through 10 games, I think. Or, well, he's only played 9, but he's getting on base. And I want to give a shout out to this guy because he's really impressing me with his plate discipline so far. Jake Fraley, who got hurt. So Jake Fraley has 8 walks in 5 games. He hasn't really had much luck as a hitter yet, but he knows how to work a pitch count and get things done on that front. So I'm very excited to see if he can continue to do that when he gets back. So those guys have been carrying the offense. They've been coming up big when we need them the most. They've made several big plays this season. And without them, this team would be dead in the water. So excited. We've seen some veterans continue to play well. We've seen some of the young guys we were crossing our fingers on continue to play well. or start to play well, I should say, in the case of somebody like Trammell and to a certain extent Crawford. So it's the bats, as you can see. I mean, we've got a pretty respectable slew of hitters right now. Now, Evan White, it's time to be a little concerned because the he's hitting the ball hard, but his overall ability at the plate is starting to become a little bit of an issue. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with most of the stuff I'm seeing with this team right now at the plate. And let me point out, we are accomplishing this right now. The Mariners are no Kyle Lewis, Paxton out for the season, which is a crushing blow and very, very sad. We did this with Fraley missing half the game so far, and we did it missing Evan White for 3 games, who, look, I don't know if he's ever going to learn how to hit either, but he's one of the best first basemen in the league, in the field. So I know I'd rather have him than not have him. So this team is overcoming a lot of injuries to start the season, and they're overcoming, well, we'll get to the pitching in a second here, to scrap out a 6-4 record through 10 games. So that's the good stuff. Now, let's take a look at the pitching here, and we'll see where things are really falling short right now. Shout out to Kendall Graveman, who I think got the save today. He's been good out of the pen. Anthony Sandwich, or Missy Wiz, or whatever they're calling him these days, has had a good start to the season. We've got a couple good guys coming out of the bullpen so far. I also want to shout out Kikuchi. He's played really well so far, and he was a guy I was not high on coming into this season. Flexen had one really nice start, I thought. Um, Sheffield was awesome today after a not so great start to the season. So, couple of bright spots, but yeah, pitching is a problem. Dunn did not get off to a great start to his season. He's only had the one start, but it was not a very good one. Marco has had 2 terrible starts so far. He's only got the one loss, but both starts were really bad. Marjavicius is off to a bad start. Excuse me. Steckenrider's off to a bad start. And knowing that Paxton is not going to come back, I don't know where the pitching comes from for the rest of this season. And the stuff the Mariners are doing right now does not look sustainable to me, and I'll get into why. But as of right now, we need Sheffield to pitch the way he pitched today in every game. We need Kikuchi to keep it up. We need Dunn to be the guy that I thought he could be last year. And then you need Flexen to pitch the way he pitched in his first game, which was really good. And I don't know what's going on with Marco, but he's been pitching batting practice so far, so he needs to get it together. I believe that he can do it because he was so good for us last year, but he looked as bad as he's looked in a long time in his first 2 starts. So that's the pitching, and that's obviously the big problem issue with this team. So with that being said, even though the team has a winning record through 10 games, it needs to get better. So let's take a look at some stuff here real quick. Here are the standings for the division. As you can see, we're a game and a half out of first, a half a game out of second, so everything's fine. Actually, excuse me, we'll be tied for second once the win we just had it gets counted. But despite a winning record, we have a run differential of -10 because today we won by 1. So run differential of -10. So that's where I say this team needs to get better. And if you take a look at the overall team stats, if you take a look at our pitching, we are 26th in ERA. It's going to be a little bit better after today, but it's still going to be in the bottom 10 in the MLB. We have one of the worst whips in the MLB, and our batting average against is also pretty low. It's at least in the bottom half, probably bottom, probably not even in the top 20, even after a pretty decent outing today. So the pitching's bad. And if you look at the hitting, it's decent, but we're not talking about great hitters either. I mean, we're tied for 15th in runs, so we have an average offense. Batting average is 227. Average. Not even average in slugging, but I praised the hitters that we've had so far because I think they've done pretty well, especially given the fact that they're missing some of their best bats with Kyle Lewis out. But it's still not great. So the bottom line is our winning record through 10 games has been built on this. So let's take a look at the 10 games we've had so far. Extra innings win on opening night, extra innings win on Saturday, extra innings win today, so that's 3 wins that came in extras by 1 run. And we all know how this stupid extra innings rule is just, I don't even know. It feels silly to me, but we have 3 wins via that. And then you have the comeback win we had against Minnesota on Sunday, where Kyle Seager just kind of went crazy and bailed us out. So that's 4 of our 5 wins that have come either by 1 run or by late comeback. And some of those 1 run wins were also late comebacks as well. So the real hangup I have with this team right now, if we go back to the pitching, is this guy right here, Rafael Montero. He's our closer. I'm out. I am out on this dude. He blew another save today. He has 3 blown saves this season. Or, well, one of them might have not been a save opportunity, but he had a chance to close the game out, and a wild pitch brought home a runner. So that's 3 blown saves in my book. We won all 3 games, but he has blown 3 leads late in the game through 10 games. So this is the Achilles heel because this team has a very small margin for error right now. I think that's clear. We're not good enough to blow teams out. We're not good enough to keep piling on massive amounts of runs. We're just barely good enough to win these close games with clutch play. So we need better output from our closer. And through 10 games, Montero, dude, looks awful. Well, maybe he doesn't look awful, but he doesn't look like a good enough closer. So right away, this strikes me as the biggest issue we have. We need somebody who can close out these ball games. We need somebody who can, because we're going to be playing in close games this year because our team isn't good enough to blow teams out. That's the bottom line as I see it right now. So good start to the season. Clutch plays from Seager, clutch plays from Ty France, clutch plays. We've had clutch plays from frickin' Taylor Trammell too, honestly. But if we want to sustain this success, we need to get better pitching, and we really need to get a better closer. So I don't know if this is the year or not, but so far the team has shown some real resiliency, and they've proven something to me. I obviously didn't know if this year was going to be the year or not, but so far the team is showing some real heart out there, and I will always happily take that. So I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, go Mariners. Game number 11 is going to start shortly, so I'm going to hop on that and watch. But yeah, see you guys later. Go Mariners.